petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Eliana.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I'd rather bear with you than bear you. Yet, I should bear no cross if I did bear you, for I think you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden, the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Aye, be so, good touchstone. Look at who comes here, a young man and an old in solemn talk.
Phoebe! 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 That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corn, that thou knewest how I do love her.
Well, I partly guess, for I have loved her now.
No, Corn, being old, thou canst not guess, though in thy youth thou wast as true lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, as sure I think that never man did love so. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, thou didst then never love so heartily, if thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not said as I do now, wearing thy hair on thy mistress' praise, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company, abruptly as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I have my hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love. I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming a night to Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of her battler, and the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had milked. And I remember the wooing of a peace cod from her, instead of her from whom I took 2 cods and giving her them again, said with weeping tears, "Wear these for my sake." We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art aware of.
Nay, I shall ne'er be ware of my own wit, till I break my shins against it.
Jove, Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my passion.
And I mine, but it grows something stale with me.
I pray you, one of you question yon man if he for gold will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Who are you, clown?
Peace, fool! He's not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
Your betters, sir.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, sir.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I pray you, shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place by entertainment bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much oppressed and faints for succor.
Sir, I pity her, and wish for her sake, more than for mine own, my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and never recks to find his way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat, his flocks, and bounds of feed are now on sale, and as our sheepcoat now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing that you will feed on. But what is, come see, and in my voice, most welcome shall you be.
But what is he that shall buy his flock and pasture?
Ah, that young swain that you saw here but erewhile, that little cares for buying anything.
I prithee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place and willingly could waste my time in it.
Assuredly the thing is to be sold. Go with me. You like upon report the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I will you a very faithful feeder be, and bite with your gold right suddenly. Unto the sweet bush road, come hither, come hither, come hither.
The wind through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest line are but black to Rosa's line. Let no face be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosalind.
I'll rhyme you so 8 years together. Dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. It is the right butter woman's rank to market.
Out, fool.
For a taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosalind. They that reap must sheath and bind, then to cart with Rosalind. Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosalind. He that sweetest love will find must find love's prick and Rosalind. This is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
Peace! Here comes my sister reading. Stand aside.
Why should this be hanged and carved upon these trees?
7 of the 9 days out of wonder before you came. For look here what I found on a palm tree.
Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color, is it possible?
Nay, I put you now with most petitionary vehemence. Tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that out of all of it.
Good, my complexion. Dost thou think, though I am caparisoned like a man, I have a Dublin hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is a South Sea of discovery. Prithee, tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace, and without couldst stammer, that thou might pour this concealed man out of thy mouth as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle. Either too much at once, or none at all. Prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth that I may drink thy tidings.
So you may put a man in your belly?
Is he of God's making? What manner of a man? Is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send more if the man will be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak sad, proud, and true, maid.
In faith, 'cause 'tis he. Orlando.
Alas the day. What shall I do with my Dublin hose? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? Tell what he? Where like me? What makes he here? Did he ask me? Where makes he? Where with me? When shalt thou see him again? Answer me in 1 word.
You must borrow me gargantuous mouth first. 'Tis too great a word for any mouth of this age's size. To say I and know to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism.
But doth he know that I am in this forest? And in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did the day he ransomed?
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of my finding him and relish it with good observance. I trapped him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
Well be called Job's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Who would be pity to see such a sight? It well becomes the ground.
Cry halot thy tongue, I prithee, it curvets unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous! He comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without a burden. Thou bringst me out of tune.
Do you not know that I am a woman? When I think I must speak. Sweet, say on.
You bring me out. Soft, comes he not here?
This ain't! Slip by him!
I thank you for your company, but good faith, I had leaved myself left alone.
So did I. Yet for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let us meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you mar no over my trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you mar no more my verses by reading them ill favoredly.
Rosalind is your love name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There's no thought in pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
Oh, you are full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with the goldsmith's wives and conned them out of rings?
Not so, but I answer you right painted cloth from whence you studied your questions.
Oh, you have a nimble wit. Atlanta, the heels! Oh, will you sit with me and we two will rail against our mistresses, the world, and all our misery?
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I will not change for your better nature. I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was seen for a fool when I found you.
He is drowning in the brook. Look but in, and ye shall see him.
But there I shall see mine own figure,
Which I take to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. And you, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I'll speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit, lay the name with him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is 2:00?
You should ask me what time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
And there is no true lover in the forest, else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had that not been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Married, he trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the date is solemnized. If the interim be but a 7-night, time's pace is so hard that it seems the length of 7 years.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest that lacks Latin, and a rich man that hath not the gout. For the one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because he feels no pain. The one lacking the burden of lean and wasteful learning, and the other knowing no burden of heavy, tedious penury. These time ambles withal.
Who doth he gallop withal?
With a thief to the gallows, for though he go as softly as the throng, he thinks himself too soon there.
Who stays it still withal?
With lawyers in the vacation, where they sleep between term and term, and then they perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With the shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Well, are you native of this place?
The pony you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent is something finer than can be purchased in so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, but indeed an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was, in his youth, an inland man, one who knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman, to be touched with so many giddy offenses as he had generally taxed their whole sex withal.
Can you remember the principal evils that he laid charge to women?
There were none principal. They were all like one another as halfpence are, every one fault seeming monstrous till his fellow fault came to match it.
I prithee, recount some of them.
No, I will not cast away my physic but on those that are sick. There is a young man haunts this forest who abuses our young plants for carving rosaline on their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies upon brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I'd give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
Well, I am he that is so love-chaste. I pray you tell me your remedy.
There is none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me to know a man in love in which cage of rushes I'm sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A Apulian cheek, which you have not, a blue eye unsunken, which you have not, an unquestionable spirit, which you have not, a beard neglected, which you have not, though I pardon you for that, for you're simply having in beard your younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbandaged, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements as loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it? You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she's after to do that to confess she does. That is one of the points in which women still give the lie to their consciences. But, in good sooth, are you the he that hangs the verses on the trees wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am he. That unfortunately,
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and I tell you, deserves as well a dark house and a whip as madmen do. And the reason why they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one, and in this manner. He was to imagine me his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, grieve the effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles. For every passion something, and for no passion truly anything, as boys and women are for the most part cattle of this color, would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him, that I drave my suitor from his mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world, to live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him, and in this way will I take it upon me to wash your liver clean as a sound sheep's heart, and there shall not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you, if you would but call me Rosalind. Come every day to my coat and woo me.
Now by the faith of my love I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me to it, and I'll show it you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
Come, man.
Have I not cause to weep?
As good cause as one would desire. Therefore, weep.
His very hair is of the dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas's. His kisses are Judas's own children.
Faith, his hair is of a good color.
An excellent color. Your chestnut was ever the only color.
His kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
He hath bought a pair of cast lips of Diana. A nun, a winter sisterhood kisses not more.
I told him I was good as he, so he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there's such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. But all's brave that youth knots and folly guides. Who comes here?
Mistress and master, you have oft inquired after the shepherd that was complaining of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, and what of him?
If you will see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you, if you will mark it.
Come, let us remove the sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to this sight, and you shall say, all the busy actor in their play.
Phoebe, 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 sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe, say that you love me.
No more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, my little life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You, foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her, like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. And out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees, and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well.
Sweet youth, I pray you, try to year together. I had rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers thee with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why look you so upon me?
For no ill I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. You will know my house is at the tuft of olives here hard by. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, ply her heart. Come, sister. Shepherd. By my faith, you have great reason to be sad, for I fear you have sold your own lands to see other men's, and to have seen much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes, poor hands.
Yes. I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I had rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad. And to travel for it, too.
Good day and happiness, my dear Rosalind.
Well, nay then, God be with you, and you talk like verse.
Farewell, Monsieur Traveler. Look you lisp and wear strange suits. Disable all the benefits of your own country. Be out of love with your nativity, and almost chide God for making you that countenance you are. For I will scarce think you have swam in a gondola. Why? How now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover? You serve me such another trick. Never come in my sight more.
Dear Rosalind, I've come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love. He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts and break but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love. It may be said of him that Cupid hath clapped him on the shoulder, but I'll warrant him heart whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, you be so tardy. Come no more in my sight, I had as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail.
Aye, of a snail. For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointer, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
What's that?
Why, horns, which such as you are fain to be beholding to your wives for. But he comes armed in his fortune and prevents the slander of his wife.
Virtue is no hornmaker, and my Rosalind is virtue.
And I am your Rosalind!
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Come, woo me, woo me. For now I am in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now, when I were your very, very Rosalind.
I was kissed before I spoke.
Nay, you were better speak first, and when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out, they will spit. And for lovers lacking, God warn us, matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
How can kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter.
Who could be out, being before his beloved mistress?
Marry, that should you, if I were your mistress. For I should think my honesty ranker than my wit.
What, my suit?
Not out of your apparel, and yet out of your suit. Not I your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, because I would be talking of her.
Well, in her person I say I will not have you.
Then in mine own person I die.
No! They die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time, there is not any man that died in his own person videlicet in a love cause. Troilus had his brains dashed out in the Grecian club, yet he did what he could to die before, and he is one of the patterns of love. Leander, he would have lived many a fair year, though hero had turned young, if it had not been for a hot midsummer night. Poor good youth went before to wash him in the Hellespont, and being taken with the cramp, was drowned. And the foolish chroniclers of that age found it was Hero of Sestos, but these are all lies. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
But I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest her frown might kill me.
By this hand, it will not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming-on disposition. And ask me what you will, I will grant it.
And love me, Rosalind.
Yes, faith will I, Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Then can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
I pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin. Will you, Orlando?
Go to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why, now, as fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might ask your permission first, but I do take thee, Orlando, as my husband. Oh, there's a girl goes before the priest, and certainly a woman's thought runs before her actions.
So do all thoughts. They are wings.
Now, tell me how long you will have her after you have possessed her.
Forever and a day.
Say a day without the ever. No, no, Orlando, men are April when they woo and December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon over his head, more clamorous than a parrot against rain, more newfangled than an ape, more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing, like Diana in the fountain, and do that when you are disposed to be married. I will laugh like a hyena and that when thou art inclined to sleep.
And will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I did.
Oh, but she is wise.
Or else she cannot have the wit to do so. The wiser, the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and it will out of the casement. Shut that, 'twill out of the keyhole. Stop that, 'twill fly with the smoke out of the chimney.
But a man that hath a wife with such a wit, he might say, wit whither wilt.
Nay, you might keep that check for it till you met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed.
What wit would have to excuse that?
Married to say she came to seek you there. You must never take her without her answers unless you take her without her tongue. For that woman that cannot make her fault her husband's occasion, let her never nurse her child herself, or she will breed it like a fool.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I must leave thee.
Alas, your love, it cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. At 2 o'clock, I'll be with thee again.
Hi, go your ways, go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. That flattering tongue of yours won me. 'Tis but one cast away, and so come again. 2 o'clock is your hour.
I speak, Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, the most hollow lover, the most unworthy of her that you call Rosalind, that may be chosen out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore, beware my censure and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. So adieu.
Well, time is the old justice that examines all such offenders, and let time try. Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love pranks. We must have your double-edged hose plucked over your head and show the world what the bird has done to her own nest.
Oh, Cos, my pretty little Cos. If thou didst know how many fathom deep I am in love, but it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom, like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather, bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
No, that same wicked bastard of Venus that was begot of God, conceived of spleen and born of madness, that blind rascally boy that abuses everyone's eyes because his owner out. Let him be judge of how deep I am in love. I'll tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he come.
And I'll sleep.
So much cool and turned into the extremity of love. I say she never did invent this letter. This is a man's invention and his hand.
Sure it is hers.
She's a boisterous and a cool style. Style for challengers. She defies me like Turk to Christian. Will you hear the letter?
So please you, for I never heard it yet. It heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebe's me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing.
Why, thy Godhead laid apart, warrest thou with a woman's heart. Did you ever hear such railing? Whiles the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me a beast. If the scorn of your bright eyne have power to raise such love in mine, alack, in me what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whilst you chid me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee little knows this love in thee, and by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding.
Oh, alas, poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? No, counterfeit. I assure you.
Well then, take a good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do. But, faith, I should have been a woman by right.
Come, you look paler and paler. Pray you draw homeward. Good sir, go with us?
that will I. For I must bear answer back how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
Shall devise something, but I pray you commend my counterfeiting to him. Will you go? When they asked one another the reason, no sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And in these two reasons, they made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Loves cannot part them.
They shall be married tomorrow, and I will bid the Duke to the nuptial. I know how a bitter thing it is to look unto happiness through another man's eyes. So much the more tomorrow shall I get the height of heart heaviness, thinking how much my brother happy is, having what he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind.
You can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not this, that you should bear a good opinion of my knowledge, in so much I say I know you are. Neither do I labor for a greater esteem than may in some little measure draw a belief from you to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3-year-old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, tomorrow, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her. I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in so many meetings?
By my life I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I am a magician. Therefore put you in your best array, and bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will. Look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by a faithful shepherd. Look on him. Love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears. So am I for Phoebe.
Die for Ganymede.
You died for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service. And so am I for Phoebe.
Die for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, all observance. And so am I for Phoebe.
So am I for Ganymede.
So am I for Rosalind.
So am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, I blame you me to love you.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Why do you speak to of why blame you me to love you?
For her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow meet me all together. I will marry you if I ever marry a woman, and I will be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if I ever satisfy man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents me, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind meet, as you love Phoebe meet, and as I love no woman, I'll meet. So fare you well, I have left you commands.
How about
Die the hour after.
But if you do refuse me, you'll give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
Say you'll have Phoebe if she will.
though to have her and death are both one thing?
I promise to make all this matter even. Keep you your word, O Duke, that you'll give your daughter. You yours, Orlando, that you'll receive his daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, that you'll marry me, or else refusing me, give this shepherd. Keep your word, Sylvius, that you'll marry Phoebe, if she refuse me. And from hence I go to make these doubts all even.
I do remember in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's name.
My lord, the first time I ever saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter.
Whose heart within his bosom is.
You I give myself, Lord. I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
There be truth in sight. You are my daughter.
If be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then, my love adieu.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he, nor ne'er wed woman if you be not she.
Peace! Oh, I bar confusion, for I must make conclusion of these most strange events. Here's 8 that must take hands to join in Highland's bands if truth holds true contents. You and you, no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are stored together as winter is to foul weather. Who also wedlock him we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason wonder may diminish how thus we met, and these things finish.
Wedding is great Juno's crown, O blessed God of born and bred. 'Tis Hymen peoples every town, high wedlock and the honored. High honor and renown to Hymen God of every town.
Oh, my dear niece, welcome thou art to me. Even daughter, welcome in no less degree.
I will not to each my word, that thou art mine. Thy faith, my fancy to thee doth
Let me have
align.
audience for a word or two. I am the second son of old Sir that bring the tidings to this fair assembly. Duke Frederick, hearing how that every day men of great worth resort to this force, address the mighty power, which were on foot in his own conduct, purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. Into the skirts of this wild wood he came, where meeting with an old religious man, after some question, was converted both from his enterprise and from the world. His crown, bequeathing to his banished brother, and all their lands restored to them again that were with them in exile. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Welcome, young man. Thou offerest fairly thy brother's wedding. To one, his lands withheld.
To the other, a land itself at large. A potent dukedom. First, in this forest, let us do those ends that here were well begun and well begot. And after, every of this happy number that have endured shrewd days and nights with us shall share in the good of our eternal fortune according to the measure of their states. Meantime, forget this new fallen dignity and fall into our rustic revelry. Play, music, and you brides and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy to the measure's fall.
Sir, by your patience, if I had heard you rightly, the Duke had put on a religious life and thrown into neglect upon his court.
Yeah.
To him I will. In these cumbered nights, there is much matter to be heard and learned. You, to your former honor I bequeath, your patience and your virtues well deserved. You, to a true love, your faith doth grant. You, to your land, love and great allies. You, to a long and well-deserved bed. And to you, wrangling, for thy loving voyage is but 2 months' victual. So, to your pleasures, I am for others in dance measures.
Stay, Jaques, stay.
To see no pastime I, what you'll have, I'll stay to know what your abandoned pay.
Proceed, proceed.
we'll begin these rites, as we do trust valor in true delights.
It's not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more handsome than to see the lord the prologue. And good plays prove the better with the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in, then, that I'm neither a good epilogue, nor cannot insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg you will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of this play as please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering none of you hates them, but between you and the women, the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you as have beards that please me, complexions that like me, and breasts that I divide not. As I am sure, as many as have good beards, or good faces, or sweet breaths, will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.